Also, teile ich meine Bildschirm zuerst. Und los geht's. Okay. My Bildschirm is visible now to everybody?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah, keep yourselves unmuted all the time, as usual. Okay, dann. Okay, dann fangen wir an. Heutige Thema ist ein ganz neues Thema. Und das geht wie immer. Also, heute sprechen wir über Conjugations. Okay, so let's say if I give my introduction, so I will be probably saying I am Sid, short form for Siddharth. I come from India. I am engineer, and blah 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 blah. So as you see, we are speaking multiple sentences, and there is a better way to communicate your thoughts instead of always telling that I am Sid, I am from India, or blah 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 blah. So I will probably be saying I am Sid, come from India, and I am engineer, right? So it's a very common practice to connect two sentences using some helping words, and these are known as conjugations. Yeah, correct. Okay, so these are in English you can say connectors, simple connectors. Now,
Actually, in English, we say conjunctions.
Conjunction. Sorry, it's not conjugation here. Sorry, it's conjunctions.
Yeah.
Sorry. Extremely sorry. Okay, what happened? Yes, so it's conjunctions. Junctio. Sorry, extremely sorry for that. Okay. Moment. Yeah. Okay, so in German, there is a striking difference. So I would rather suggest your advice. You do not, when we'll be using these conjunctions, please don't compare it with English because there's a striking difference between German and English, especially in terms of conjunctions. For example, let's say, let me give you an example, just a moment. Yeah. It is strongly raining today. And then I will not go outside. So everybody please give it a try in English. How do we connect these two sentences? One by one, everybody please.
It is raining. It is strongly raining today, so I will not go outside.
Right. Anybody has any other idea of connecting these two sentences?
It is strongly raining today, therefore I will not go outside.
Perfect. Anybody else? Maybe somebody can give a try with hence also, right? It is strongly raining today, hence I will not go outside.
Or also with because.
Yes. So the last option could be because it is strongly raining today, therefore I will not go outside, right? So you see, for the same thing, we have multiple options in English as well. So likewise, in German, there will be multiple options, but if you'll see, the word order remains the same. It is strongly raining today, therefore I will not go outside, right? So invariably the word order is just the same. However, when you talk in German, so things will change. So the verb positions and everything will get jumbled up. So I will give you one simply one example right away. So this sentence will be it will be something like Ich gehe nicht raus. Raus bedeutet outside. I will try to put it in one line only. When, now we'll talk about this conjunction later on. Right away. When es stark regnet. Okay. So, do you see the difference? It is strongly raining today, therefore I will not go outside. So this this I will not go, that is the verb remains at the same place and outside is at the last place. However, when we are using when, then the thing is the verb will be pushed to the end, right? This is just an arbitrary, comparison between English and German. I will give more examples right away. So what I mean to say is there is a class of subordinate these conjunctions. There are two classes of conjunctions: conjunctions, and the two classes are classified as coordinating and subordinating. Now, just understand, coordinate means coordination. That means helping each other, have तालमेल एक दूसरे के साथ रखना. So that is coordination. And subordination is something like master and slave sort of thing. Somebody is superior and kicks out the other guy or something like that. So it's a hierarchical, you can say, subordinate. Just to remember these two words. So what happens in coordinating? I'll rather say in subordinating, the verb is pushed to the end, right? So it is like the conjunction will push the verb to the end. That is, it forces a law and it will subordinate the other verbs. However, in coordinated, because they are coordination, there is a coordination between everything, so everything remains as usual. So verb position will also not change. We will go one by one with examples, so it will be much more clear. So just to make a screenshot, I would request you to take a screenshot when I'm done with this. Aber, then these are all conjunctions. Oder, sondern. I'm giving you a few examples only. There could be more than a dozen examples here. I won't be giving all of them. And let's say beziehungsweise. I will check this spelling. I'm definitely wrong on this. And it is short form written as BZW. Right, just for now, remember this table. And here is a little bit bigger list. So here started with when, thus. Now remember friends, this is DASS, not DAS. Then comes while. Okay. Then damit, then I will say als, then ob, then obwohl, right? And also please put nachdem. Also, I would request everybody, friends, please take a screenshot right away. So this will be, these are the verbs, these are conjunctions that I request you to please remember by heart, especially aber, then, oder, sondern und beziehungsweise in coordinating conjunctions, und alles anderes wie wenn, thus, while, damit, als, ob, obwohl, nachdem, these in subordinating. So because once you will be, into this business of framing sentences using conjunctions, you will be, many times confused whether this conjunction is a subordinating or a coordinating, because the complete sentence structure depends on the species of these conjunctions. So thereby, you need to remember whether conjunction is subordinating or coordinating. Now we will take one by one every conjunction. And friends, this chapter, this today's lesson is something like you'll be using very often. And this makes the sentences or your conversation lively. Because I would have said, I am Siddharth, I come from India, I am engineer, I work here, I work there, I live here. So the sentence, the conversation is very boring then. But if you use conjunctions, then it becomes very interesting and lively. So I would suggest you please focus upon this topic as well as today's chapter. Maybe if you feel, if you find time, you can tomorrow again go through this chapter once again. The recording, you can go ahead. Okay, so the first conjunction that I wanted to take up is when. Okay, now it will be always written as when only, never in caps. All won't be in caps. So it will be when. So literally meaning in English, eng, it means, let's say, if or when, right? So or you can say in case. So this could be the English translation of these words. Now some rules you need to remember here. You actually need not remember, just keep an eye, because you'll be overwhelmed with the rules otherwise. But still, this is something which will help you a lot. Just remember this if possible. S plus V plus O, that is subject, verb, object. I'll rather write it down. Subject, verb, object. And then comes when, and then comes a comma. All right. And then comes the second sentence, that is subject plus object plus verb. Okay, so this is the formula of using, actually not only when, sondern in fact every subordinating conjunction can be framed in this way. That is, the two sentences will be joined, subject, verb, object, then when, subject, object and verb. Now don't be overwhelmed or don't have tension, don't be stressed with this formula, because this is a very generic thing, and with practice you can learn it yourselves. I mean, you need not, it's not a mathematical or physics formula that you need to remember it. Just take it as a reference, because in the next sentences, when we'll be framing sentences, you will find it yourselves that this formula is applied many times. Okay, so let's say the same example I'll cite here. S regnet stark. Okay, and the second sentence is Ich gehe nicht raus. Right. So one by one, I request everybody. The one who answers may give chance to others as well, and the second time. So I would request somebody to please tell me in this sentence what is the subject.
It is air.
Yeah, right now it is S. No? S. Regnet.
Okay, sorry, it is
Yeah.
S.
Subject. Yeah, S is subject. And what is the verb?
That is reg.
Somebody else, please.
Regret.
Perfect. This is verb. And the object? Obviously, only Stark is left over. Right?
But is a Stark object or is adverb?
Yeah, I mean, let's focus upon these three things only.
Oh, okay.
S. So the whatever is left over will be, I'm just trying to tell where the positions of the words will come up. Okay, somebody now, the other guys who have not replied yet. Here in this sentence, what should be subject, object and verb? What is the
Ish
subject?
is subject. Ish.
Yeah, subject. And Karthik, can you try? What should be the verb here? Gehe, right. And then nicht raus, you can call it as object. Right. Just remember, normally we used to have subject and predicate, no? So you can consider object as predicate also here. Anything which is left over, you can call it as predicate. Okay, so let us try to apply this formula. we are going to use when. So the first sentence will be subject, verb and object, and then comes subject, object and verb, right? Now there is a possibility, there are two possibilities actually. You can either put these sentence in the front and the first part in the second part. That is also possible, and vice versa. For example, in English, the sentence is, it is raining strongly, I will not go out. So I can put it as, when it is raining strongly, I will not go out. Or we can write it as, it is raining strongly, therefore I will not go out. So depending on the conjunction, you can switch over the sentences also. It looks a little confusing right now, but with examples you will make it very easy. So here what I will do is, ich gehe nicht raus, I will take it in the first place, right? Because remember, this is subordinating, na? So there will be some certain changes in the sentence also, as well as in the verb position. So the sentence will look like now, ich gehe nicht raus. That is to say, this sentence is completely copied in the first sentence. When then here will be subject, object and verb. Now we have now reversed the sentence now. So this will be here. I'm talking about this sentence now. Subject, object and verb. So here the subject was S. Then the object we found out stark, and then regnet. Don't be overwhelmed, don't be stressed. We will take many examples, and then it will be all clear. So what I wanted to tell you is, ich gehe nicht raus, wenn es stark regnet. So when we are using when, then the complete sentence structure is changed. First of all, the Hauptsatz und Nebensatz, that is, the first sentence is Hauptsatz, H-A-U-P-T, Satz, and the second sentence is Nebensatz. So the sentence structure changes, plus the verb position will change. Let me give you a few more examples, then it will be much more clear. The problem that you might face is, friends, because here two sentences are involved in the picture, so it's not a single sentence statements. So there could be a little bit of confusion, but should not be too much. Let me find out. Okay. Let's say in English, he can get good marks when he comes to classes daily, for example. Okay, so now again there are two sentences, so we will take it up again. So if I were to use when, W-E-N-N, so it becomes like this. Kann gute, note is marks. In exams we get marks, bekommen. Then comes when, right? When let's say daily, you can say regelmäßig. Regelmäßig, S-I-G, regelmäßig zum Unterricht kommt. So don't be too much stressed with the all the stuff here. What I wanted to show you is, when I'm using when, right? The moment I use a when, the verb is pushed to the end, right? So this is the most important thing. because there will be the other class of conjugate conjunctions where this when, for example, there is another conjunction called den, den, which is quite similar to when only. We will see it later on. But suppose if we were using then the verb will not be pushed to the end. We will take it up later on. But for now, just understand that whenever I am using those conjunctions from the subordinating list, then the verb will come to the end, will be pushed to the end. Let me try to see if there is any simple example in my list. Yes, I have one. Very simple. I will give you one more example. Ich lese das Buch. Ich habe Zeit. Okay, now let us try it together because it is very simple. So as I told you, there are two sentences. Ich lese das Buch, ich habe Zeit, right? So let's try to convert it to this using when. So any tries? Somebody want to give a try?
Can I try?
Yeah, please.
Ich lese das Buch, wenn ich Zeit habe. Zeit habe.
Zeit habe. Perfect.
Zeit habe.
Absolutely perfect. Because what you did is you kicked the verb to the end. No? What he said is ich lese das Buch, wenn ich Zeit habe. So am end he is putting the habe. 100% perfect. Right? Anybody has any doubt on this framing of this sentence? I will just write down right away. Ich lese das Buch, then comma, wenn ich Zeit habe. Anybody has any doubt or in framing this sentence?
No.
Alles gut.
No.
All right. And Arvit has already replied.
9.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Now, see, just to add to your confusion and to your stress, there is one more way wherein I can use when. See, अगर ये English में होता तो how it would have looked like. I read the book. I have time. Let's write it down. I read the book. I have time. So Ishita, if I ask you to please connect these two sentences in English only. So how would you write?
Okay. I read the book because I have time.
No. Because maybe grammatically it may be correct, but theoretically it won't be. You can
So
you
I
can
read
rather
the
say
book when I have time.
Yeah, we would.
I read the book when I have time.
Yes, perfect. When I have time, right? And Karthik, can you give it a try and change it? Speak in English again and using some other option to connect these two sentences.
Yeah. When I have time, I read the book.
Perfect. 100%. So you see, when I have time, I read the book when I have time. Otherwise, you can say, when I have time, I read the book. Right? So likewise, this is how your confusion will be increased here. As we did, ich lese das Buch, wenn ich Zeit habe. So the same sentence can be converted in the same way as we did it here. And now it becomes something like this. Wenn ich Zeit habe, comma is most important. Then comes lese ich das Buch. Right? So what is happening when I'm using when at the first place, right? And then I'm using a comma, and then comes the verb. Getting my point? So it is like this: when blah 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 blah, comma, and then comes verb. And previously how it was, the when the sentence was there, blah 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 blah, comma, when, and then at the end come verb. Right? So that's what I'm trying to convey you friends कि अभी ये थोड़ा सा confusing लग रहा है, I know, because when I learned for the first time I was totally out of order. लेकिन थोड़ा सा if you'll read the sentences and when you'll go through more and more examples, then it will be absolutely clear. So मैं थोड़े से 2-4 examples, I'll try to give more examples here. Ich kaufe Schiff. Ich habe Geld. Right? So, Ishida, can you give it a try? Ich kaufe Schiff. Ich habe Geld.
Okay. Ich kaufe Schiff, wenn Gelder habe. Wenn ich Gelder habe.
Yes, perfect. Ich kaufe Schiff, wenn ich Geld habe. That is, a verb will be thrown to the last point. And Shivan, can you give it a try with when at the start?
Wenn ich Geld habe, ich kaufe Schiff.
Perfect. Kaufe ist Schiff.
Kaufe ich, yeah,
Huh?
because then verb is first.
Yes, verb is first. So when, if you are using when at the first place, then blah 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 blah, then come to verb, and then the sentence. Right? So perfect. So this way we can frame the sentences in two ways. And let me just formulate it once again. I would suggest you to take a print screen again here. I'm talking about when. So let's say it is something like this: S plus V plus object, and then comma. Maybe sometimes you can use comma afterwards also, but better to use before only. And then S plus object plus verb, right? Other way around, when, if when is used at the first place, let me give it like this. If when is used at the first place, then it becomes S plus object plus verb, right? And then comma, it's like this, and then verb plus S plus object. Okay, so I strongly recommend friends, please take a screenshot. And although I'm not very sure, but I think this formula works with all subordinating conjunctions, right? So everybody has taken the screenshot now. All right. Now you will probably feel like scratching your head now. What about when there is a modal verb also in the picture? So how do you frame sentences then? So need not worry too much, friends. Don't worry too much, because with practice you will understand everything. So just a moment. Yeah. Kurz Moment bitte. Just in case you have a modal verb also in the picture. So how do you do it like that? Moment. So in case if there is a modal verb, so things will be a little different, but still it won't be too hard, because modal verb, you probably remember, whenever comes a modal verb, I will say modal verb as MV. So the main verb is thrown to the end, right? In regular language, in regular sentences. Likewise, in case if you find modal verb here in this scenario, So need not worry. It will be something like this: S plus modal verb plus object plus verb, right? And then comes when, and then S plus object plus verb plus modal verb. Don't be overwhelmed, friends. Don't take a screenshot also here, because otherwise you will be very much confused. Instead, just understand how things works out. I will not speak out the second option, because unnecessarily you will be overloaded. I'll give you some examples, and then it will be too much clear. Just hold on for a moment. Vanish my it is good. Yes, only one example I'll be giving, because at this level you need not go into, after all, you people are not going to do any doctorate in German language, so let us not bother upon those stuff. Let's say Peter kann das Auto fahren. Okay, Peter kann das Auto fahren. Wir können, let's say, Reise machen. That is, there are two sentences. Peter kann das Auto fahren. Wir können Reise machen. Right? So here you see there is a usage of modal verb. So instead of giving any wild guess, I would straight away tell you how things would work like. So it will be something like wir können Reise machen. Right? Wir können Reise machen. You see, können is there, that is the modal verb. So the main verb is already switched to the end. The same thing happened here as also, right? Wir können Reise machen. So because the modal verb is there, so main verb goes to the end. So the same thing will come here. When wir können Reise machen, when Peter das Auto fahren kann. So actually you see the same formula applies here as well. That is because when is used here, so verb will be pushed to the end, and because here modal verb is used, so modal verb is going to be pushed to the last place. So let's not confuse ourselves. Let's go weiter. I mean, unnecessarily will be overstressed then. Okay, so the second sentence I wanted to tell, the second conjunction wanted to tell you is while. W-E-I-L. So while literally means because. Right? So here also, let's say I learn German. I want to, let's say, work in Germany. So Arvid, can you just try it in English only, how to connect these two sentences?
It will be, I learned German because I want to work in Germany.
Perfect. Right? But tell me one thing. Can it be the opposite also? I want to work in Germany because I learn German. Please tell me, everybody.
No.
Can you
but-
repeat once again?
Yeah, Karthik, carry out, please. Proceed.
Because it might not be, but like I want to work in Germany, so I learn German.
Yes, perfect. Right. So no, what I want to tell you is, in the case of when, you probably were able to convert the two sentences. You can use the when in either way you feel like, right? But it's not always the case with every conjunction, because then grammatically it may be correct, but practically it will be wrong. I want to work in Germany because I learn German will be absolutely wrong. But grammatically, if you go by the formula and verbs and places, it may be correct. So you have to take care.
You can also, yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can also say, because I want to work in Germany, I learn German.
Yeah, that way, that's perfectly fine. But what I wanted to tell you is, once you are given German sentences, let's say, ich lerne Deutsch, ich will in Deutschland arbeiten. Right? So now here, what we have to do is, again, because while comes from the subordinating family. So what will happen? There are two ways you can say, ich lerne Deutsch, weil ich in Deutschland arbeiten wollen. Einen kurzen Moment bitte. Ja, ich lerne Deutsch, weil ich in Deutschland arbeiten will. Right? Because modal verb will come in the end. Let's say I will remove this modal verb, ich lerne Deutsch, and the second sentence is, ich fahre nach Deutschland. Fahre nach Deutschland. Right? So without modal verb it will be easier. So it will be, ich lerne Deutsch, weil ich nach Deutschland fahre. Getting my point? Ich lerne Deutsch, weil can somebody proceed with my sentence? Ich lerne Deutsch, weil
Ich möchte.
No, I'm not using any modal verb now. I'm using only ich fahre nach Deutschland.
Okay, ich fahre nach Deutschland.
No, but because I have used weil, so it will be, ich lerne Deutsch, weil ich nach Deutschland fahre.
Nach fahre Deutschland.
Right?
Deutschland fahre. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it for every subordinating conjunction?
Yeah, that's what I said. That formula that you took a screenshot right away, it's valid for almost every subordinating conjunction. Well, as I told you, I'm also learning Deutsch. I'm not an expert, but to the best of my information, for every subordinating verb, that formula will be valid, and for sure, for subordinating conjunctions, verb will be kicked to the end. Okay. Einen kurzen Moment nochmals. Just one more sentence I would like to give with while. Pete and moment. Peter, can you just give me a moment. Actually, I'm trying to avoid modal verbs, so it takes time. Yes. Let's say I give you a simple example. Ich gehe nach Haus. Right? Ich bin sehr müde. Ishita, can you give it a try in German? How do I connect with while?
Okay. Ich gehe nach Hause, weil ich bin. What is the last word?
Ich bin.
After there, what is the word?
Ishita, can you be a bit loud? I cannot hear you.
Yeah, after ich bin there, what is the word?
See, this bin itself is verb. If
No,
you re-
but after there, what there is a
Mute.
word.
Oh, sorry. This is mute. Mute means tired.
Sleepy.
Yeah, sleepy or totally tired.
Okay. So, ich gehe nach Haus, weil ich müde bin sehr.
It will be something like Ich gehe nach Haus. That is perfectly right. And then it will be while. And then Ich sehe müde bin. Right? So verb will be at the end, and ich is the subject, and the rest of it will be object. Sehr müde is object. That is the main body of the sentence, right? So it will be something like Ich gehe nach Hause, while यहाँ आ गया while ich sehr müde bin, right? थोड़ा सा complex है, I understand, but just see इस sentence में you have to find out the verb straight away. And fortunately, there is no modal verb, so you need not worry. At least I will not be offering you any sentences with modal verb right now. So, ich sehe müde bin. Right? So, with practice, you will understand. So, it takes a time. Let's find out some other word now. The next word I wanted to conjunction wanted to tell you is thus. Will be written as thus. Right? So make sure it is not DAS, that is not the neutral gender, nothing to do with it. Now, normally, thus bedeutet that. Simple. Now, that is not, I'll give you some examples so it will be more clear. I think that, right? Then I found that. I say that. So you're getting my point. What type of that I'm using here? I'm trying to express some views, or I'm trying to tell you something. However, if I were to say that is a boy, so this is different type of that. It is referring to some point, some object or thing. Na? So that is entirely different. That is not what we are concerned right now. What we are concerned with is something which is coming out of you. So I think that, I found that, I say that, I have seen that, for example. So I will give you an example. Again, this is subordinating, right? So I'll give you an example. Ich glaube. Glaube means anybody can tell. I think it was there in homework also. To believe. Right? So ich glaube, that is I believe. Then I will use thus, right? S Morgan. So ich glaube, dass es morgen regnen wird. Are everybody there in the class, or some internet breakdown is there?
I'm back. I was lost for a bit.
Okay, no problem. I did not cover too much. So I request everybody to please keep yourselves unmuted. So I may be asking anybody any question. Also, was hat ich gerade erwähnt? Ich glaube, das heißt I believe. That is, glaube means to believe. Thus is again a subordinating conjunction. S Morgan regnet weird. Now, weird is something a new word because it is a future tense. So let us keep this for a while. We will not be going in depth here. Let me take up a simple example. let's say I believe Virat is a good player. Now, friends, it may happen that right now I have already told you that I am giving you conjunctions, and right now we are talking about DASS. So it's most likely that the examples also will be using thus only. But what will happen in the exams or maybe in your practical life, you have to select the proper conjunctions from a pool of conjunctions, right? So on the spot only you have to pick up the right conjunction from your memories, from your vocabulary. So you need to understand the meaning of each conjunction, right? So the moment you think of expressing your views, or you want to tell something that I am of the opinion, for example, or in my opinion it is like this. So it could be something like ich denke, ich glaube, ich sehe, ich sage, and then should be thus only, right? So let's try to convert use this sentence in conjunction. So somebody give it a try, please. I believe Virat is a good player. We'll be using thus.
Ich glaube, dass Virat
Moment. Ich glaube, Moment. Dass
Virat ein guter Spieler ist.
Perfekt. Spieler ist. So the most important thing is you have to use ist at the end, right? So that is, the verb should come at the end for sure. Anybody has doubt in this sentence? Nine. I am sure.
Yes.
You have some doubt?
Yes.
Bitte.
Now you told that the verb should come at the last. So here the verb is spielen, right?
Is Spieler. Actually, this is player.
Oh, okay.
It's a noun form of the verb. If it were spielen, then it would have been verb.
Okay.
Right. I say, that is, I'm insisting. And the second sentence is, it is late. Right? So late could be spät. So try to convert this to using thus.
Ich sage, es spät ist.
Perfekt. Es spät ist. Perfekt. Dann gehen wir weiter mit noch ein paar Beispielen. I think, sorry, I-T-H-I-N-K, and the second sentence is, this is a film. So Ishita, can you give it a try?
Okay, what do we call film in German?
Film. You can say simply F-I-L-M.
Okay. Ich denke, das Film ist.
I'll write down. Ich denke. Perfect. Thus. Now, you know, this is a film, na?
Yeah.
So, suppose if you were to make it transliterate to German, so it will be es ist ein Film, for example. Now, can you give it a try? Ich denke, dass
ein Film ist.
As I told you, you know, the es ist, you're right. Ist is perfect. But then subject should be at the start. Subject, object and verb. SVO. Right? So it would be ich denke, dass es ein Film ist. Okay? So you need to take care about the word orders. So S is maybe the subject, because about what we are talking about. I don't think I'll be able to show the formula again because I don't know where it is right now. But at the start,
I have written it.
no? So if you'll see, the subject should come just after the subordinating conjunction, right?
Just a correction that because it's masculine, the film is masculine, so it will be eher ein Film ist.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right. Correct. So yes, so we have to always take care, because once we translate from English, we come from English background and think like English. So film is normally it for us. It is a film. But in German, you are absolutely right, Shiven. It will be air. Perfect. So a simple example for Arvid. I see this is a, let's say, Farad cycle. So how it should be, Arvid?
It will be Ich sehe, dann das.
Wiederholst du bitte?
What?
Wiederholst du the size? Please repeat.
Hello. Am I audible or something? Is it wrong?
Ich sehe das.
Okay, I should repeat. Yeah, das ist ein Fahrrad.
Das ein
Hello.
Fahrrad ist. Remember, the verb will be thrown to the end. Right? Ich sehe, dass das ein Fahrrad ist. Shivan, the Fahrrad is das, na?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, das. Ich sehe, dass das ein Fahrrad ist. So here you have to be very careful, because there is two das coming back to back. One is das, which is actually the neutral gender, and there is this das, which is actually a conjunction.
Excuse me.
Yeah, bitte.
It's not F-A-H-R-A-D. It's F-A-H-R-R-A-D.
Okay, perfect. Vielen Dank. Okay, so I'll take up only the lasts because it's going late, at least in India. So the fourth one that I wanted to take up is obwohl. O-B, how it is? W-O-H-L, right. So it is something like although, or in Marathi it could be Jaripand or Taripand, I think so. Okay, so let us proceed with obwohl. So how we will use it? Private party, I think there is very complex sentences here. Yes. So as you see here, whenever we'll be using where we'll be using obwohl. So in most cases, the two sentences will be kind of a contrasting with each other, right? They will be contradicting, or maybe not in Zustimmung, means they will not be in agreement with each other. So let us take up some examples. Let's say he works 10 hours a day, for example. He is not healthy. So friends, you are able to understand. He works 10 hours a day. He is not healthy. Now, individually both sentences are perfectly fine. They are absolutely right. But if we were to connect, and theoretically if we see these two sentences are not in agreement with each other, it seems like something is wrong. So in such cases we will be using obwohl or although. So in English also, Ishita, can you give it a try in English how it will be connected with although?
Okay. He he works 10 hours a day, although he is not healthy.
Yes.
Actually, it can be he is not healthy, although he works 10 hours a day. It can also be like that.
Yes, perfectly. So it could be the beide Seite, that is in both sides it can be okay. So the same thing works with obwohl also. So now in this case, again friends, make sure that I am talking only about subordinating conjunctions, right? So here, how it will work like, it will be zum Beispiel arbeitet 10 Stunden. I think this S will be capital, and then will be obwohl. Can somebody predict how the other sentence should look like in German? He is not healthy. Ist ungesund. Or you can say ist krank. So can somebody give it a try? Arbeitet 10 Stunden obwohl.
Yeah. Arbeitet 10 Stunden, obwohl ungesund ist.
Yeah, perfect. Ungesund ist. 100% perfect. So the same formula applies here also. That is, the verb is kicked out to the end, right? Likewise, as Ishita rightly said, we can put it in the other way also. Although he is not healthy, he still works 10 hours a day, for example. So here also, it can be made like that as well. However, that may be a little complex. So it turns out like obwohl krank ist. Right? Arbeitet 10 Stunden. Now here if you see, the word order and everything is jumbled up. I mean, I was always telling that a verb will come at the end. So here it is not like this. So what has happened here? Like in the initially stage, I told you when we took up the when case. So here what has happened? Obwohl, then blah 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 blah, then comma, and then verb, and then blah 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 blah. Okay. So the concept is, when you are using a subordinating conjunction at the first place, then the sentence goes like this: obwohl, subordinating conjunction, blah blah blah, comma, then comes the verb of the second sentence, and then we will proceed further. So let me give you one more example. Mein Vater, let's say, fährt das Fahrrad. Okay, and the second sentence is es regnet. So means my father travels or drives the cycle. It is raining. So somebody can again give it a try how it should look like. See, first of all, right now I'm talking only about obwohl, so it is quite understandable that I'll be using obwohl here. But make sure, friends, you understand the meaning of every subordinating conjunction, or in that case, every conjunction, because in practical life you have to select the proper conjunction. See, here you cannot use while or because. my father travels with cycle because it is raining. So it doesn't make any sense. However, it may be grammatically correct, but you have to take care that it is theoretically also right. So somebody please give it a try and we'll make a Schluss then. Anybody?
Can you repeat once again?
Yeah, just connect these
But
two
that is
sentences.
actually lagging. Just the last sentence.
Yeah, I just requested everybody to make a try to connect these two sentences.
With a whole or with something else?
Yeah,
What
that
does-
you have to decide now, because in the exercise you will not be given these conjunctions.
Okay. So
Mein Vater fährt das Fahrrad.
Fährt, no? First of all, it will be fährt.
Okay, you
Yeah, carry on.
fährt. Regnet means tired. No, sorry. What does regnet mean? I think
Raining.
it is tired.
It is raining, we say, no?
Okay.
It is raining is es regnet.
So mein Vater fährt das Fahrrad, obwohl es regnet.
Perfect.
Although it is raining.
Yeah. So what you did was you pushed the verb at the end, and that verb was regnet. Right? Shivan, you are also giving the same answer or anything different?
yeah, same.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm not asking Fragen dazu because we are not done with the topic. I would rather say vielen Dank für heute, and tomorrow we will take up this topic weiter. Right? So I would request friends, as I told you at the start only, this topic is a little complex and a little confusing as well. So if you find time, please have a look at this video again, and I'll be sharing the link in YouTube channel. Also, vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Vielen Dank. Tschüss.
Bis morgen. Tschüss.